Would you say that the 49ers, after their 3-game losing streak, they go into Jacksonville, they win 34-3. Would you say that yesterday the 49ers checked all the boxes?
That is it. It's everything I've been trying to articulate. Yes.
Okay.
And can I add one more box?
Sure.
The new toy, the impact they got from the new toy was on display too. So they got health and they got a new weapon on defense. And now Wilkes is able to do different things with different people on the line. We saw Furl get in on some of the party getting after the quarterback. So, Steiny, I think they checked all the boxes. Now, am I front running when I say that, or can that Jacksonville team had won 5 in a row? They were hotter than, you like this, fish grease.
Take over, Evan, please. I won't even have to do this one.
I was being a little facetious before the show, but the boss and Steiny were talking about the game, and it was incredible. It was a perfect game, right? 34-3, they absolutely kill him. They say he's checked every single box. Brock Purdy's checked every single box. And I just started to think, well, technically, no, they didn't, or he didn't, because there was a box he wasn't allowed to check because he never trailed in that football game. The script went exactly as the 49ers needed it to go, which was also the exact same script that helped them jump out to a 5-0 record. What they have not yet been able to answer, nor were they allowed to yesterday, was what happens when the chips are down.
That's phenomenal. But what I'll say is what Norman, my father, used to say to me, Evan, if that question wasn't on the test, I can't answer it. So you want to get off to a good start, and that they did. So all I can say to that is, in regard to that part of the script, Steiny, we got to wait till next week to see, or the week after that to see when they're down. But all you could do yesterday is control the controllable. And I don't want to say unfortunately, but fortunately, you were never trailing. So wouldn't that box be
what?
That box wouldn't even be checkable because it wasn't attainable.
I could easily come here as the host of this show and say, until Purdy brings this team back in the fourth quarter, they ain't winning it.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Because they ain't going to be able to play from ahead the whole playoffs.
During this 5-0 run, fellas, and all the time we saw Brock before, how many games did he trail? Remember how we were waiting for that because we weren't used to it when they were
3.
healthy.
Oh, the 5-game streak?
No, even last year, the Raider game was the only game they trailed. So we haven't saw a large portion of that on display even when they were, high octane. But, I'm not mad at that, but I think with the addition of Chase Young and health, Evan, and I know you got some hard games coming up here, but, man, are we going to see a lot of that as we saw in the 12 quarters without Debo and Trent and a tired defense? Because they looked refreshed yesterday.
Well, no, I'm 100% with you. But, honestly, Guru, you were the one that had me thinking about this because a lot of your concerns have been when – in the last 3 games when they've been trailing in the fourth quarter, and Brock, and I don't want to single out Purdy, but offense did not respond the way that you would have liked them to, and those concerns haven't really gone away. Like, we still don't know what's going to happen the next time they're there.
I'm going to take a page out of Snoopy's book. Remember Linus? He had his blanket, and now Purdy in those 3 games didn't have his security blanket, which I believe just the threat of Debo, his left tackle, and Evan, now those guys were back. So he's showing up to the fight now with Big Brother.
Yeah, and I think that helps him get ahead early.
All right. No, I feel you. I feel you knocking.
There is an NA next to a lot of boxes. That means not applicable.
Wow.
But he checked all the boxes he was asked to check yesterday. Like Goose said, the rest were not on the test. I had this thought this morning, taking my friend to the Niners, and they completely resemble a modern NBA team, whereas I'll let that. Purdy did lead them back in Cleveland. Moody missed the kick.
He also threw a pick that should have been caught in the first.
Speaking of which, guys, Moody's kicks, this is nothing, right? Steiny, they're barely squeaking in. Nothing to see here, right? I'm just asking. Somebody brought it up earlier. Did he kick one? It went in. what do we
when
do?
Steph Curry banks in a three-pointer, we don't say, get him banking in a three-pointer.
Well, that's because we've seen enough swishes forever. With Moody,
Okay.
I hate to do that to the kid. Jake, you made it. But I do wonder, like, boy.
Okay, so
barely evidence.
Okay, all right. So,
but like, so
now
for
you
example,
you can rip Moody because he couldn't hit a game winner, and now you rip him because his field goals are not good enough.
I feel like I'm being taken out of context, E. I'm just bringing, like, when you saw that kick, like, okay. But later it might not. That could have easily went left.
Well, in practice, if he's off, then that might be something. But look, in the game, he made it. It counts. He's perfect. But it was just interesting listening to Kyle Shanahan talk about, for example, the first touchdown throw from Purdy, which is the classic rolls out left. He could have ran for the first down.
Why didn't he?
Well, because apparently Ayuk was down there somewhere in the end zone. He wanted to throw it to him. But Shanahan said that was maybe the worst decision he's ever seen him make.
Man.
But it turned into a touchdown.
I hear what you're saying.
So he can't really critique him. Like, that's why I think, to Harry's point earlier, not to bring up bad blood.
No, but Harry's part of the show
Purdy
and family.
Very similar to the last 3 games. I just think he had all of his guys back.
George Kittle on playing Niner football.
When you can sustain longer drives or explosive drives, whatever it is, and you don't have penalties on first and second down, you're not turning the ball over, yes, that's Niners football. You know, we usually do a really good job protecting the ball and not getting penalties, and that's what you guys saw today. In the last couple of weeks, that's all I've been saying is as long as we don't turn the ball over a bunch and we don't have penalties on first and second down, we're going to score a lot of points. And you kind of saw that too in the first, second quarter, whatever it was, where we had to, I think we kicked the field goal and we had to punt because we had penalties on first down. As long as we can eliminate those things, our offense has enough really, really good football players to get yards, stay on the field, and sustain long drives.
That's Niner football.
That's what he said. And again, it goes back to what Evan and you got me thinking now, Steiny. They can obviously win up 30 or 20-3. Can you come down from 7? Can you come back from 17 to 14? But the thing is, the sample size on the platter, when they're healthy, they're hardly ever behind.
True.
Does that Cincinnati game happen last week? If Debo and Trent's there, and I woulda, coulda, shoulda if it didn't, but they kicked ass yesterday. So I'm focused on yesterday. I just don't know what you don't like, except to Evan's point, and I keep going to you, Evan, they were 1 of 4 in the red zone. The D was turning them over, giving them great field position. They were 1 of 4. Now, some could say, oh, Goo, you're nitpicking, but if you want to, I'm not going to sit here and say they were an A+, and I'm not blaming Brock, but as a whole, 1 of 4 ain't good.
Yeah, I was really encouraged by the defense and the fact that they didn't have to blitz yesterday to get pressure on the quarterback, which is something we've been wondering why hasn't been happening. Like they got 5 sacks.
Yeah.
Pressured him 50% of his dropbacks. They even had, I think it might have been the one that Bosa recovered the fumble. They rushed 3 on that play.
And 2 got to him. Him and Chase, that was the one Chase got to him, and your boy took the ball from him.
I was encouraged by the defense.
Yeah. And again, Steiny, I'm not going in on your boy. Trevor Lawrence is a good young quarterback, but I felt from the gate he wasn't seeing ghosts, but he knew the Niners had some bullies on that D-line.
Here is more George Kittle. How'd you feel coming into the game about Brock Purdy?
I just go back to this. Brock started like 40-plus games in college. He had highest of highs. He's had the lowest of lows. Like, he's dealt with mistakes. He's had bad games in college. And so his confidence is still there. And that's all I wanted him to, continue doing. He knows how to, bounce back. And I don't think Brock, played poorly the last couple of games. Yeah, sure, there's a throw to he probably wants back. But if you look at the tape, he's still playing at a high level those 3 weeks that we lost. And just this time we were able to not turn the ball over and not have penalties. And so we're able to be out there and you can see the type of quarterback that Brock is.
There's George Kittle on Brock Purdy. Purdy was terrific yesterday, as were all the Niners for the most part.
Except the one decision where he got rewarded with the touchdown that his coach called out, not me, Steiny.
Yeah,
I don't know why I appreciate a coach being that real. Like, okay, you got away with it. Almost like a parent telling your kid, you got away with something, but if you do it again, son, it's going to come back and bite you. And I appreciate it.
Isn't that what Shanahan did to Steve Wilkes? Talk honestly.
Now, what if I told you that's about locate? Well, you're talking about that said play. But yeah, okay.
I can honestly say I'm sort of built for this.
650. I'm with Goo. It's a problem.
The red zone 1 of 4.
Oh.
But Jacksonville's got a pretty good defense. Now, if they came in thinking their stuff didn't stink, Steiny, like you said.
What are the 49ers, like, where do they rank in red zone percentage over the course of the whole year, I wonder?
I think they're like middle of the pack.
All right.
They also have one, if not, like they're top 3 in terms of trips to the red zone. So
Yeah.
That's true. That's true. Everyone, I put more pressure on myself. So nobody asked Purdy about the throw. Nah, it's too bad.
He spoke on it, though.
Here's his
They were
pass to
playing
Kittle.
man, so I knew George just needed some time to get outside, one-on-one with that backer. And so knowing that and then seeing the safety sort of cut and take BA over the middle, I was like, all right, this is George one-on-one. So, yeah, I had some pressure and stuff, but I just got to give George a chance, and George did a great job getting underneath it and going all the way with it. It was sweet.
He stood in there. He's tough.
Evan often provides information that I wouldn't normally have. According to Evan, on social media, some are saying, might have been the best throw of Purdy's career to Kittle. Is that correct, Evan? Some are saying?
that's what I was seeing a lot of people point out yesterday.
I ain't mad at it. I couldn't believe he got it off. And, Steiny, that would be your ear to the street. That's what Evan would be. Because you told me he ain't on X as much.
Says 530 says Niners are 6th in the red zone, touchdown only. Meaning, I guess, I don't know if he's right or not.
Well, you want 6. You'll take that. But what's he mean by, because the field goals count as.
Well, I think what he's saying is if you take out field goals.
No, you can't.
Well, you can if you want. You can say it's just the Reds. What he's saying is the Niners are 6th in red zone scoring touchdowns.
They're 6th in red zone percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
What does that
when
mean?
they reach the red zone and score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Right.
Field goal, you don't get credit for it.
Well, in that particular stat, I believe. But red zone does include
The
field
3
goals,
All right.
just the normal.
Because 3 will get you beat.
You think that's right? Do you think that's? I got that right, Evan?
Yeah, but it's important. However many times you're in the red zone, you want to capitalize with 6.
707 says no. Brock's throw to BA, Brandon Ayuk in Pittsburgh was one of the best. The one to Kittle yesterday. Brock's throw to BA in Pittsburgh was one of his best.
Okay, I got
the one to Kittle yesterday surpassed it, according to 707.
What about the one to Debo against Dallas, where he just threw it in the bread basket? You guys remember that one?
No.
For a touchdown?
No.
I do. Yeah.
He threw what was the pass he threw the other? Was it to Ayuk?
Cincinnati? He hits Ayuk in the middle of the
I can't
field.
remember which
They
one.
start off just like Steiny. He ain't throwing no little Rudy Poo throws. He's 25 yards, 30 yards. Like he's getting them down the field. Ayuk's longest yesterday was 55 yards. Debo was 30. Oh, that was total. But the longest was 38 for Kittle, 18 for Ayuk, and 7 for Debo.
888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny Guru with you. And the 49ers back on the winning track. Let's go to Miles. Miles is in Hayward. Wants to talk about Brock Purdy.
Miles.
Hey, Miles, how you doing, man?
All right. I was just kind of wondering what you guys thought about it. Seemed like the passes that Purdy tries to put pressure to put right on the money, like the one he threw at Yayu, which is not really normally a good pass. He seems that he's still driven to get the ball in there, right? And so I think he kind of was trying to do that. Only pass the ball when people is open, right? But he always tries to push it in there, right? I think that's the kind of quarterback he is. So I think you live and die with him. But like I said, he shouldn't have thrown that pass. But he has a tendency to throw those kind of passes when he's trying to be aggressive, right? And so I was just wondering what you guys think about that, because those passes are the ones that he's had trouble throwing with in the games that they lost. So now he's back to throwing one of those, but not a lot of them. But he did throw one of them, right? But he's lucky he didn't get intercepted. But I was wondering why you think he does that.
I think because he thinks he can make that play, he thinks he can make that throw. I think that he is more of a risk taker than Jimmy
Gunslinger mentality,
Garoppolo.
Steiny.
And
Brett Favre had it.
he decided to throw that pass.
And he got the touchdown. But
yeah, he did. 888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny along with Daryl the Guru Johnson and the San Francisco 49ers. They snapped their 3-game losing streak with an easy 34-3 win against the Jacksonville Jaguars. McCaffrey was terrific. The only thing he did the only thing he didn't do was get into the end zone. But Purdy, 3 touchdown passes, no picks, 296 yards.
You get your game ball, too.
Steve Wilkes.
Damn. That's who I was giving it to.
Okay, I won't then. I'll pick somebody else.
Who was second on your list if you runner up?
Purdy.
Possibly.